From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the real zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another podcast. Yes, we're back live. After the launch of Taylor Kennedy TV, we're actually back live. We are back here on a Wednesday. What a good one. Actually, Shann and I was talking during the week, last week, and she suggested that we actually speak with the viewers and see what the viewers want to talk about. So, as one viewer, this one topic in particular comes from a viewer. He's going to go nameless. This is actually a personal experience he's actually going through at this moment. But I'm walking him through a few things, coaching him through a few things. And the topic tonight is heartbreak should make you wiser. Heartbreak should make you wiser. Okay? Each of us are unique, and so are the relationships we choose to walk into. No matter what the type is, it always involves an intimate interaction of two individuals with their unique set of values and ideas, which involves both parties. Some of these relationships work out beautifully, while others might not. Either way, we should walk away wiser. Let's bring the ladies in and get to the bottom of this. 1 second. Ladies, what's going on?
Hello.
What's so funny? Caught her sipping. And her microphone's off.
See, I'm all messed up. I was trying to snack when you turn the camera on. I was eating one of my little Trader Joe's batons.
You mean to tell me you can't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time?
Whatever. Anyway, how y'all doing? I feel like
pretty
it's been
good.
Forever, but I guess it's been a whole week, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a week. It's been a week, a busy week. Launching out the platform and doing a whole bunch of other different stuff, trying to get everything to run smoothly. So we're now on all platforms: Apple TV, Roku Stick, Fire Stick, and it streams directly from Taylor Kennedy TV.
Nice.
So,
ooh, look at
when
us.
does your makeup budget kick in, though?
what? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You heard what I said. You heard what I said.
All I heard was makeup. I didn't hear anything else.
Mm-hmm. Hair and makeup budget. You heard that. When does that kick in?
We have to work that. We'll work it out this week.
Lip gloss, and then D, lip gloss for D.
Yeah, $100 lip gloss and all that crap. So ladies and gentlemen, you guys will be able to get actually access to Coach D and Shannon's baking, all that good stuff. Coach D's trauma coaching and TikTok videos, all that good stuff, by hitting the subscribe button. And you can do it on a monthly, or you can actually rent the videos for a day, only for 99 cents.
Ooh, only 99 cents. And it's how much monthly? $6.99?
$6.99. $6.99. And they'll have access to all my yoga sessions, my workouts, my daily routine and whatnot, and the medical fitness piece of it. So they have access to all the behind the scenes.
So we're going to be watching you do yoga?
Yeah, why not? Well, I mean, it helps people out with a different ability to let them know that it is possible. So yeah, it's a little different. It's different. So it's giving them access to everything throughout this journey. So yeah, yoga and everything.
All right, hey, Gentle Giant, welcome. Hey, Martine, welcome. Thanks for being here. Martine was very upset when we weren't on Sunday.
Is that right?
So, have you sent her the items that you were supposed to send her yet?
They're actually in the mail. Yep.
You lie like a rug.
Straight from the manufacturer. I didn't send them. The manufacturer. The books had to be printed. So,
Martine, you need to make sure you let us know when you get those items.
Actually, I had to remind her to send me her email.
Oh my God, so it's not in the mail.
No. I did it that night, but I had to remind her. I texted her that night, asked her, But Martine's kind of delayed on the text a whole bunch. Because
she responds promptly to me, sir.
She goes to sleep real early, so right after the show, she's going to sleep.
You got every excuse under the sun, don't you?
Nah, the books are in the bed. The books are.
So what's going on, Alvin? I haven't seen you in a minute. I heard you got I heard you got a straight pardon from the governor.
Knock it off.
I'm just saying.
It off. So what do you ladies? Let's talk about the heartbreak. Should it make you wiser?
We want to talk about heartbreak though.
No, it's not just a romantic. I'm talking about, let's say, for instance, right, like the heartbreak of my brother passing.
Okay.
That made me look at things a little different with the two brothers I have left. Made me walk a different path. Made me be a little more understanding. Where I wasn't patient with them, it made me a little wiser. So not just in relationships and all sorts of things, across the board with relationships in general. You should be able to take something away from the relationship that you leave, or didn't something tragic happen. You should take away something positive, which you can contribute to the next person who walks into your life.
That's my church lady finger.
Go ahead.
So since we have one third of the brothers on tonight, I just want to know, is that true? Was he more patient with you after that, Gentle Giant? Just let us know. We just want to make sure that what he's telling us is actually true.
Knock it off.
Hey, Brendan, thanks for joining us. And
what up, Brendan?
She said thank you. She looks forward to the books.
Good stuff. Anytime. Thank you for always tuning in.
Well, the problem with some people not learning is because it's an ego thing. They don't want to admit that they may have been doing wrong in a relationship, so they won't learn from that relationship. So they may not go forward learning anything from that past experience, and only to repeat it again and again until something absolutely drastic happens. It's when we learn the most, is when we hit rock bottom, is when we learn the most, and then we move up from there. That's when our biggest experiences and growth come from, sadly.
Exactly. And I'm glad.
Dee, do you think it's mainly ego, or are there some other things that could possibly keep people from actually learning the lessons when that type of trauma happens, to where they're repeating the cycle or repeating it over again?
Yeah. Ego's a little bit of it. A lot of it has to do with their attachment styles. Whether they have like a secure attachment, an avoidant attachment, or insecure attachment. And that goes back, once again, to childhood, like 0 to 7. That's when all our attachment styles grow. So if you have a secure attachment style, if you get dumped, it's not going to be as traumatic as somebody who has an insecure attachment style who was abandoned as a child. Or whose parents were absent or not present.
We really need to do a show that really talks more in depth about the things that develop within us from that 0 to 7 age, that pretty much are the makeup of who we are.
We touched on that a little bit. We touched a little bit on it early. We didn't go all in depth.
Yeah.
We touched on it.
How important it is.
Wow. Hey, Lanye, welcome.
What's going on, Lanye?
Gentle Giant is saying that, yes, you were patient. I don't believe that, but okay. You can say it, but I don't know what it is, but it's okay.
That is, and when you like, the thing with Greg, all of us had a different relationship with Greg, but it was extremely close.
Right.
And my learning, and what made me more wiser, was like, wait a minute, I'll just stop being stubborn, and I'll just stop being a brat, because Greg always treated me like a brat. And I was like, I better stop this, because he's gone and there's no more safety net. Like, Greg will be the one to be like, hey, man, come on, let me talk to you. You got to stop that.
What was the birth order?
Huh?
What's the birth order? For those that don't know.
I'm the youngest. Torrance is second to me. Torrance is older than me. Then there's Greg in the middle. Then Gentle Giant was on top. He was the main horse.
You can't tell he's the baby?
Oh, I knew.
Oh,
for other people who didn't know, that
right.
Dynamics makes a huge difference a lot of the time.
Yep. Hey, Mark, welcome. Thanks for coming back and joining us.
What up, Slash? Dig into that a little bit, Coach D.
Well, it's all about how statistically parents will put more pressure on the oldest child. The oldest child will have more rules, more regulations, more focus on them. By the time it gets to the youngest child, it's not so much the parents don't care, but it's they've been there, done that, and it's like the kid's not going to die if they're playing outside by themselves.
Exactly. And I was
they can do a lot more because the other kids have done it already. So, but
I was that child. I want it now.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
And I would do my brothers the same way. Like, I want it now. I don't care what you say. I want it now.
You end up with.
And Greg was the normally one. Yeah, Greg was normally the one that would actually give into it.
But that is true because I'm the oldest, and I always feel like by the time they got to my brother, who's the youngest, it was like they just didn't care. Yeah. But then I'm the same way with my own kids. My youngest one can almost do no wrong. Don't tell her sisters I said that, but
I'm the oldest too. But Xavier's my only child, so it's a little different.
So Martine had a comment. She says heartbreak is serious. A sister friend of hers passed from heartbreak she'd recently had. She said she and her man had broken up. Then a few days later, the mom passed. So she had just had her 42nd birthday. Wow.
People don't realize how much emotion plays into our well-being and our health. So people talk about, like, within the Black community, we have a lot of high blood pressure. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people think that's just due to food. But it's also stress due to generational trauma and systemic racism. Those all play into it as well. And then you don't get the medical attention you deserve because of medical racism. So it's our emotions. There's a good book called The Body Keeps Score. Like, when I get stressed, I can feel it in my shoulders and my hips. Mm-hmm. And if you ask anybody, where do you feel it when you get stressed? They're like, oh, I feel it there. I'm like, that's all the emotion in your body. Like, if you do like a deep tissue massage and they start releasing that emotion, you start crying. Like, deep tissue massage is very emotional because they're releasing all of that energy that's stored in your body. Because we're energetic beings. People forget that.
Exactly. So I jotted down. You guys know I do the tidbits, and when I jotted down a few thoughts of why it should make us wiser. So we'll start with number one, and then we'll do it throughout the show, what have you. Number one, you learn to set your standards. Sometimes when we are in love, you tend to overextend yourself to make your partner happy, even at your own expense and your own comfort level. You tend to interject and consider yourself to be an extension of the other person. Number one, you learn to set standards, meaning that going in on the second relationship, whether it be a friendship or a romantic relationship, you say, hey, you know what, let's talk about this for a second. I'm not going to overextend myself going forward because that's what I was doing in my first relationship. So learn how to say no, learn how to say, wait a minute, before you overextend yourself, and then there's a whole bunch of chaos. Because normally when we overextend ourselves, we tend to stress the truth a little bit, and just to please to make them feel better and make them a little more comfortable. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the truth has to hurt them. Just be honest with them.
Mm-hmm. So would boundaries be part of setting standards, I guess?
Yeah, most definitely.
Hopefully learn what boundaries should be set, after that experience.
Absolutely. Then we'll go to number two, and I'll pass it on to you guys. Number two, it helps you to review your essential needs. It should help you to review your essential needs, which in turn into a higher quality of life. You start to live your life organically. This personally happened to me. When we are in relationships, we explore our needs, our wants better. We realize what we are prioritizing, what our basic needs are, wants are, and how we communicate. Mm-hmm. That's how we actually organically live our life. Once we get past that, we know the essential needs. Once we tackle the essential needs, we're good. Then we start living our life organically. It's going to become natural. Very natural.
Well, I'm a big fan of the love languages.
Mm-hmm.
I believe everybody should read that book.
I've read that book
Even
so
if
many
they're not in a
times.
relationship, so they can understand how they like to be loved.
Exactly.
Because you can't tell anybody else unless you know it yourself.
Yeah,
that's right.
Very true.
That's right. I know for me, and actually, to be honest with you, I think either it's you, Dee, or someone over in Michigan introduced me to the 5 Love Language book. I read the book over and over. I don't know if it was you or someone else. It probably was
I can't
you.
remember.
Yeah, I think I still have that
Something
book.
I would do. There's probably a reason for it.
Right. Shut up.
You know me, man. You know how it is. That's
Yeah.
There's usually a reason behind something I've done.
Did you really read it, Treat?
Yeah, dude. Sometimes I still pick it up to this day and read. I know that book. Yeah, from back to back.
Okay.
I could actually go right there and pick that book up right now.
Okay.
There is a what is his name? I'll have to Google it when we go on break. But there's a great guy. He does positivity session. Positive IQ, I think is the app he uses.
Right.
Anyway, he has this like personality test amongst that tells you like where you sit, like what are your shadow demons and what like.
Oh wow!
And it's like I read it and I was like, damn, that's like really good, because then you're able to take a look deeper in yourself so that you can see what other people may see. And sometimes that's really hard to do, to look at yourself and go, damn, I need to work on that. And it's personal development is a mirror that not everybody wants to look into.
Very true.
I'm getting a private message from Slash, and Slash is actually all over with the compliments here tonight. The private message the private message states.
Why is he sending private messages? Why do they got to be private?
Well, I mean, sometimes he sends me private messages.
He
says, "Coach."
I have a new laptop, so I can read the comments now.
He says, Coach D sounds like she's on AM 940 tonight. That's a huge compliment for an engineer type guy.
Oh, okay. Coach D is coaching. That's what she does best.
Yes, Slash has some new equipment over there she's been showing off since she came on. So yeah,
mine isn't working.
Yeah,
because she don't want to do the technical work.
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah,
it's not working.
What you mean? Because you have everything there.
Okay,
everything's there.
So that only private message. What else did he have to say?
That's it.
So hold on, wait. Before we go, I want to go on. Martine was taught she couldn't remember the name of the medical term for it, but she said it's cardiomyopathy.
Yeah.
People literally die. Is that like dying from, when they talk about people that literally die from a broken heart?
Right. Yeah. I think that happened. To my mother. I honestly believe that happened to my mother.
She says, I haven't suffered from a serious heartbreak, but she says she's been hurt though. Yeah, we all have.
Yeah, I witnessed that in real time. My brother passed 2 months and 10 days before my mother. My mother literally, I watched my mother decline.
Wow.
In record time. 2 months and 10 days she was gone. Yeah. That's a real thing. That's a very real thing.
So she said she's learned what not to do, and she now knows what she doesn't want.
Absolutely.
From not so good experiences. So therein, I guess, goes kind of the lessons or the wisdom we gain from the heartache.
Absolutely. So we go to number 3, which was Shannon, you brought this up. You learn to create boundaries. Heartbreak teaches you that one cannot fill from an empty cup. You learn to prioritize your needs before you become a savior for others. A relationship matures beyond years when you let it breathe and bloom into its own space.
Wow, it sounds like you actually did some good research for this show, sir.
Absolutely.
You might actually coach some folks tonight. I don't know.
I think I'm going back and up these certs again. So I gotta up the game. But we went to the TV now, so we done brought the conversation all the way back. So.
Oh, so because it's on TV, you go you gonna do a
Hey,
little better.
hey, we gotta shine. We gotta shine.
So how do you think, since when you said that there were things that you learned after basically kind of going through this and having the double trauma of heartbreak between your mom and your brother passing kind of back to back, what were all of these things, did you incorporate doing all of these things to really kind of get get through the process, heal, go through some of
Everything I'm speaking about, a lot of stuff a ton of stuff that I did to help myself get through it. Because remember, I was by myself getting through this, and I had a ton of meditation, a ton of prayer, a ton of patience. This is how I actually practice patience with my brothers, with other family members, and that's how I'm in the process of repairing those relationships through patience. Not always looking down on them or sitting on the judge's panel. I'm going down there in the seats with them and sit down and try to understand them a little more. Before I wouldn't do that because Greg is always the one coaching me, but I was always looking down at others. I can't do that anymore. So I got to go down there with them.
Wait,
that's just who I was.
Really?
That's just who I was. That's just who I was. I didn't want to hear nothing. I was none of that. And the moment they say something wrong to me, cut me completely off. Greg was the only one that could actually penetrate me and deal with me in that manner. Because I always looked at Greg as one of my father figures. So, but that, going through that process and all that loss and tragedy, it helped me practice patience and to be more understanding.
Wow. Okay.
And turned out to have a better relationship with all of them. So
interesting.
Huh.
So Martine says she's learned to say what she means and not be afraid to express. She said, "I'm not afraid to express my truth."
Yep.
Yeah, that it's really kind of funny because I look back and I think about now things that I was fearful of, or really just being when I was younger, just being so concerned. Right. Or caring what other people thought and not wanting to just have my own voice. And it's like now it's like I don't care anymore. I really don't.
That also comes with age.
I'd say things that are hurtful to other people, but it's just like what you say now or what you think about me just doesn't impact.
Doesn't matter.
And I'm just like, what was the difference between like in my 20s? When you're in that stage where you're trying to fit in and you want to, you don't want to alienate people, you want folks to like you, and now it's like you either take me or leave me. I'm not changing nothing. I am who I am at this point,
Exactly.
To a certain extent.
Exactly. Number 4, to the romantic side, you learn that it's not the end of the world. Boy, did I learn that. Boy, did I learn that. Many people tend to engage in self-doubt followed by a breakup. Why me? Was it worth it? I'll never be able to get over this breakup. I deserve this. Are a few things you tell yourself that reflects how it affected your self-esteem. Boy, did I have a tough time with this one. I had a tough time with this one. When I was writing this, I was thinking about that. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I was hoping you were going to give us an example of when you said you had a tough time with it, exactly like an example of it.
I was going through bottles of Kettle One over in Michigan, constantly bottles and bottles of Kettle One. Blaming myself like, oh, why did this happen to me? Constantly in denial, and just the whole self-esteem just went in the tank. In the tank. It was in a can. Behind that relationship, I couldn't, and it goes back to what Dee was saying. To add on to that ego was seriously bruised because every conversation with myself ended with, I can't believe she did this to me. That ego was bruised, seriously bruised.
And it depends on what type of relationship it is too. If it's an unhealthy relationship where it ends with the other person saying you're this and you're that and you're like just to beat you down just to make themselves feel better.
Right.
That can really hurt somebody. Like that relationship wasn't like that at all. It was, as you know, you were there. That was a straight blind side. Like everything happened all at once. So there wasn't no explanation, no nothing. It's like boom, pack up, boom, yeah, gone. Like she boom left. There was no talk over, no thought process, and that's what actually bruised the ego for me. I'm like, I can't believe she did this to Trent.
Well, because you were so used to being the one doing it to other people.
Exactly.
Right? You didn't think it. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So yeah, you're onto something with that one.
You had this much ego. Like,
say again now.
I can't believe you had this much ego. Like,
I was a mess, man. I was a mess. I mean that's that's a part of growth, right?
Yeah.
I admit to that. I admit to it. Hey, that was my stuff, and I carried it well.
Oh yeah. So, and I've never really been a people pleaser. Like I broke up with one guy, and he's like, "You'll never find another man like me." I'm like, "Well, that's kind of the point." And he was just like,
"That's true,
like, sorry, like it's over."
That is very true. I can remember when I was going through my divorce, my ex-husband telling me the same thing. I'm like, yeah, I don't want another one like you.
Exactly.
That's why I'm leaving.
I don't know why people seem shocked when you tell that to them. Like,
exactly. Let's go to number 5. This is very important, folks. This is a very important one, folks. Very important. Very, very important.
Oh, there's your comments too.
Number 5. Number 5. It teaches you empathy. It teaches you empathy. It taught me a ton of empathy, man. Like, think about it, right? Once you start working on healing yourself from the pain of the breakup, you try to rationally think about things and whatnot. What went wrong in the relationship? Then you start turning your mirror inward.
Right.
Then you start taking self-responsibility. You start taking responsibility for the toxic you brought to your own party.
Mm-hmm. Right.
This is when the empathy comes in. Like, damn. Then that's acceptance and all that good stuff goes in that. And we go back toward the 5 steps of grief and loss. Then you get to the empathy. You're not going back through the steps anymore. You're not going to go back through them anymore once you get to the empathy.
What do you mean by, like, what are you empathizing with when you say empathy?
Yeah, empathy for others. You start reflecting on the things that you did in a relationship. Like, what did you cause?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? What did you cause? Why that? For some reason, there had to be an action to that reaction.
Right.
That she did. So that's what when I started digging for that, that's when I caught on to the empathy. I was like, wow, this is okay. This is it.
Okay, I understand better now. Okay, because
right.
I always feel regardless, even when I went through my divorce, and even though I was the one who initiated the divorce, right. I had to go back and afterwards and kind of figure out how did we get to this point, right?
Exactly.
And when it took a while and some therapy and just really realizing that really at the crux of it, I knew I wasn't supposed to get married when I got married, and not to the person that I got married to. So I opted out of a sense of fear and anxiousness when I made that decision, and it just kind of prolonged itself for a 10-year period into our marriage until it was like, it wasn't something I could deal with or continue to be in anymore. So, outside of that, even with other relationships that may not have worked, there's always a part that each person plays in it.
Exactly. And ladies and gentlemen, I am a true believer.
Or whatnot.
I am a true believer, ladies and gentlemen, you have to go back to go forward. After any tragedy, whether it be romantically, a loss of family, everything, you have to go back to go forward. Even with my mother, I had to go back to go forward to move past that. I had to go back to go forward. I'm a true believer in that. Right. That's how I self-healed myself.
We've got several comments here. So, hi, Kimberly. Thank you for joining us. She said you still have that ego.
That's got to be Kimberly out of Houston.
Is What's that her last name? Jones Williams?
That's her.
Okay. Martine
Knock it
says
off, Kim.
she's learned that she doesn't owe every single person who's not treated her well anything. She says a pleasant description of why I changed my mind. She says she's no longer a people pleaser. And then Lanye put in the comments, mea culpa. So I asked her to elaborate on, elaborate on that. So she was saying that you had mentioned, Trent, that you look down on your brothers, but you switched it up. So the ability to recognize your own fault or error.
Yeah, because the reason why I was doing that night, I was very young, and I jumped off the porch very early. I signed my first record deal when I was like 17 in LA. And
I still want to see. I think one night you should play the video for us on here on the show.
If I can get it to transfer from that VHS,
and bring Michael back on so we can. So we need the two of y'all on here.
He's always try to upstage me. And he always knew I was a star. So.
Oh my God.
So even though like with my brothers, right? So like Greg and Torrance used to bodyguard for me and whatnot, and Greg always kept me in line on these tours. They always kept me in line, man. And Torrance was what?
Flag on the field. What you need a bodyguard for?
All those women.
I know, but what? Lord, I need to see some footage. I really do.
All those women. I'm gonna have to bring Torrance on so he can actually talk about those days.
What did Ursula? All the fleas?
Well, some of them were fleas. From Rocky Mount to Macon, Georgia to sunny California.
I need to see some footage. I really do, because I
may have bumped into you in Inglewood, didn't even know.
No, sir. No, you didn't. Look, Kimberly said, "Boy, stop." And then Brent, your nephew says you got a big ego, a very huge ego.
Hey, nephew, you're supposed to be on my side, Brendan.
No, you supposed to be on my side.
Mark researched the 7 ways heartbreaks make you wiser. I'm like,
Coach D, look at you reading it. See?
I got a new laptop, I told you.
You can't take my job. No, this is my security spot here. I can get to read it.
That's funny. That's funny.
So do tell us, Mark, because I think Mark has transitioned over to being a life coach as well. So let us know about the 7 ways heartbreak makes you wiser, sir.
So, and sometimes when it comes to relationships and like moving on, sometimes you have to just come to terms with that you may be the villain in that other person's story. No matter what actually really happened, you may be the villain in their story, because sometimes that's what they may need in order for them to move on.
Right.
What? I didn't think about that. That's actually
Kimberly Jones Williams saying, "Boy, stop." And like I told her, I said, I used to be somebody.
Mark says I can co-sign. Your friend says I can co-sign 1-to-1 and V style were a huge deal. What is that?
That was the 2 groups that I formed when I was at 17, 18 years old.
Okay. Again, we need footage, sir.
Well, you see all the footage all the time. Come on, knock it off. You seen the pictures? Matter of fact, didn't you comment on the picture that I posted as a throwback when Michael Lewis and I was actually modeling?
I was shocked. I was like, who are these people and why? Wasn't it hot in summer with all that leather on?
That was in LA. It was in LA.
Wasn't it hot with all that leather on?
It was a photo shoot for Spike's 40 Acre and a Mule. He had a clothing line, and we were the first ones to actually model.
I immediately thought of old boy in what was that movie? How Stella got Waiting to Exhale, when he came up there drunk in the middle of summer with that leather vest on.
That's funny.
I'm just playing.
So that was a photo shoot. The picture that you saw.
Yeah, I know. I'm just messing with you. Martine says heartbreak can be from how you treat yourself. Oh, very true, Martine.
That's true.
She says cheating yourself of things you'd wanted because you used years or time doing for others, your employer, your family, friends, and etc. Yes. Yes, we break our own hearts at times. Absolutely.
We definitely do.
Yeah, think about what people are talking about, this quiet quitting all of a sudden, right? It's not quiet quitting. It's actually only doing what you're paid to do. That's all it is. It's not putting in the extra 40 hours for nothing. It's not going in early or staying late for nothing. It's just going in, and doing your job that you're getting paid to do.
You're right.
And
Absolutely.
people are upset because it's they can't take advantage of people anymore. COVID changed a lot of how people look at themselves and how they're taking care of themselves because people were home and had nothing to do.
Right. And I think we also have with COVID, we gained a better understanding or more understanding of what's really important. No, I think about how many times I was working 14, 16 hours a day. How much time I lost from being able to be physically home with my kids when they were younger because I was busy putting all that time into my career. So
let's even this out a little because COVID may have done that for a lot of us, but you guys know that there's still some stupid people out there. Didn't learn nothing.
That's true.
Yeah.
Didn't take the time to go within to deal with themselves or anything. All that time, you mean to tell me all the time you guys had at home and you could not self-reflect not one time?
Well, I mean, I think you have to be someone who feels that there's a need to self-reflect, right? In order to self-reflect. It's like you have to know or feel that maybe something needs to be different or you need to be different.
Absolutely.
And remember, we're a product of the 5 closest people around us. So if no one in your circle is talking about self-reflection or therapy or personal development, then the chances that anybody that you're going to be will be slim.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So Martine says you kind of look up and realize that you've used far too much of your precious time. Yeah, that's true.
Pretty much.
Oh, Mark is up. Mark is going through the steps. So he said, number 1, you learn to set your standards. It helps you review your intrinsic needs. 2, it helps you review your intrinsic needs. 3, you learn to create boundaries. I think he must be reading off your list, sir. Y'all went to
game time and real time.
The same Google results. Number
No, he's paying attention to the show.
Number 4, you learn it's not the end of the world. Oh, he did. 5, it teaches you empathy. 6, you learn that it's better.
Yeah, you have the same list.
You didn't get to this one, so he's taking your thunder. He says you learn that it is better to be alone than being with the wrong person. Hallelujah. And you learn that your happiness does not depend on other people. Yes.
Absolutely.
Wait, were those the rest of the points on your list?
No, I only jotted down 5.
Oh, he went the extra mile. He did extra credit work tonight.
He did. Now, going back to your happiness doesn't depend on other people. So here's the new problem that people are finding once they become single and find their peace. It's a lot harder to bring somebody in there. So they don't want to destroy their peace and then that's where that whole what do I bring to the table thing is like, sir, this table is calm.
Sir, I am the table. I bought the damn table. What are you talking about?
So that's where a lot of people are having issues now because you have all these people who are working on themselves who are now like, I think we're gonna skip that one. Like there's entire groups on Facebook dedicated to don't date this guy or don't date this girl.
There used to be so I used to follow this group on Facebook. I think it's gone now. It's called it was called Sis, Is This Your Man? So when they would see men, like they would
saw that
with their news for cheating, they would post them on the site, on the page. And there was like tens of thousands of people on there be like, does this guy belong to anybody else before I start?
There's still groups like that in the DMV. There's still groups like that.
It was crazy. So Martine says COVID caused a lot of people to get to know themselves and reintroduce to themselves. Yeah. Oh, Kimberly says amen to number 6. And number 6 was you learn that it's better to be alone than being with the wrong person. Yes.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people who haven't done a lot of work are afraid to be alone with themselves.
Sometimes, man, that's the best. For me, my personal experience, that's the best place to be.
Like,
that is the best place to be.
Take yourself out to dinner. And people are like, what do you mean take myself out? I'm like, go out to dinner by yourself. Go to a movie by yourself.
So, but this is for both of you, but probably more so for Coach Dee. So for people who look to find, what is it with PR? What causes people to look for happiness in other people and not necessarily within themselves?
There's a void. there's something missing within themselves, and instead of looking and doing the work, it's easier to look outward than it is inward, pretty much. So in order to do the work, you have to admit that maybe you've had trauma. Maybe your parents weren't as fabulous as you thought they were. Maybe there's an incident in your childhood that you want to forget. So there's a void within you that you're refusing to fill because there's some reason behind it. And once we find the reason behind what we do, it's a lot easier to stop the behavior.
Yep.
Right? It's like playing tennis. If you have a bad backhand, you take lessons to figure out what's going on, then you fix the backhand. In order to
like I used to tell folks, man, if they're not ready for it, don't pick that mirror up, because whatever that mirror throws back, you're gonna have to accept it.
Yep, it is. It's hard.
Whatever reflection it throws back, you have to accept it, or you're going to continue in a delusional state for a lifetime.
Like Hay House has a free. They usually run a free mirror course. Right. And you have to do exercise and everything. It is not easy, man. It is
not at all.
Yeah, it's difficult, and the more work you do, the harder it is because you dig deeper.
Yeah.
So you're gone past all the surface stuff, and then you're down into the mother wounds and the father wounds and all that stuff.
That's right.
So, hey, Joker Dog, thanks for joining us. Glad you're able to make it. You said you're where Coach D said. Which part of what Coach D said? Like, at what stage are you at? Let us know. Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, we have whizzed right over our break time, so I think now will be a good time for us to kind of go ahead and try and pay some bills, since now we're on TV.
We'll definitely do that. We'll definitely take a break real quick, let it breathe. We'll be right back, folks.
Thanks for tuning in to Conversations with Trent. We will be right back with more conversation after these commercial breaks.
Check out the creative work of the author Trent Williams of www.taylorkennedymedia.com. Chapter of the Delta gives us a peek at his life-changing events. And if that's not enough, Trent tells you more about his brothers and his life through memoirs in his book, The Four Horsemen. His blogs and daily stimulating quotes are published in his book, Life's Little Addiction. And when you have a need of some human coaching of life and relationships, take a look at Conversations with Trent, Volume 1 and 2, and Conversations with Trent, Limited Edition. You will find his works available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all online book retailers.
Welcome back to Conversations with Trent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're online and want to be a part of tonight's topic, you can do that by dialing 347-324-5327. Press the number 1 to get into the queue so that your voice can be added to tonight's conversation. Now, let's get back to the show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's ad, of course, Teleconnect Media, who actually sponsors the entire platform, and those wonderful cookies in the background that you see with boxes. I haven't had a cookie in 7-8 months.
Oh, stop it. You'll be happy.
Tabs.
You'll be happy to know it's holiday time, so I'm back up and running.
Tabs ediblecreations.com is a spot. You know what? She's saying she's going to be back up and running because she know I'll be traveling, so she won't be giving me no cookies.
Anyway, should we continue with the show? So Joker Dog said he says he has peace now, so it's hard to let someone in. But yeah, I think we do sometimes get to that point. You know, we've been single for a while and we're in our own groove. We have our own peace, and you don't want, it's hard bringing someone in because at some level they're going to disrupt that flow and that peace.
Yeah, you have to be the gatekeeper of your peace, man. However you got to that peace, Joker Dog, you have to be the gatekeeper of it. I'll be honest with you, be a little transparent here. I'm like that as well. I have so much peace to where my soul won't even allow foolishness into my vortex. Again, I have so much peace to where my soul will not allow foolishness into my vortex.
Right.
So I totally get it.
Kobe rocking it out. We got it.
That's my guy.
So Mark said, "Ayo, Mr. Epic, people think we don't get lonely when we're far away from home. 1 minute, 20,000 people, but then they go home. We're alone off to another city where everybody knows our name. But when I meet that perfect honey, is it me she wants or is it my fame? Mark, I'm gonna need you to stop." I say I want to see the footage. I need to see the footage.
I think you already know that though.
I just can't.
I know. First of all, if I say it, there's thousands of people watching. They had a couple of calls. Hey, that's it. Yeah, that happened. So I don't say. I'm very comfortable where I'm at in my life and experiences. So me jumping off the porch that early in life got me to this point. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was good. It was a good life.
Okay. Martine says I've been single for so long. Whoever he may be is going to need lots of energy. I'm going to be doing a lot of making up for all the time that I've been solo. Okay, Martine. Go ahead. Libido after 50.
She's trying to set it off.
Like you, these little young. Okay, Martine, I'm with you.
It's a whole different conversation.
But at this stage in life, man, we have to be comfortable with being with ourselves. I totally get what Joker does. So you have to be comfortable with that. Like for me, I'm extremely comfortable with being alone. Extremely comfortable with that. Once you're comfortable with that and you're comfortable within yourself and that peace surrounds you, something's going to come. Something's going to gravitate to you. You just have to be patient and make sure you don't get a knucklehead.
Yeah, that's
leave your house.
Or I'm sorry, what was that, Coach D?
I said leave your house.
Yeah, you do have to leave the house. That is true. Yeah. Or you and Kobe have to let people in the front door.
Well, Kobe don't even let Alvin in the front door.
Blame Kobe. Don't blame him. Like he's really becoming too much like you. And he's only 2. He don't need to have them type of tendencies just yet.
Knock it off.
Look, Martine says it's not about sex, energy for hanging, having conversations and doing stuff outside. Martine, look here, you ain't got to pet and cove with me. It's okay. No judgment. No judgment. Mark said, Princess Video. Oh, I'm the Princess Video Coordinator. Is that what you just said? Princess Video Coordinator just read that like it was the news. Does she not know it's never read like that? Look here, sir. When you get the job of reading the comments, then you can speak on how they're read.
See, he does so well, and then by the end of the day, what happens?
We do. Like, we were giving him props, like he's new career path, right?
Ladies and gentlemen,
sounds engineer, seminary school, life coach.
For our new viewers on the Kennedy TV, this is how these three get along. So it'll go along real good. It'll go along real well, and then Mark says something and knocks it out of the park.
Say that last part again. Mark says something.
Oh no, y'all pick on him sometimes.
No, we don't. We get props.
Mark's hitting foul balls is what he's doing. He's like batting great, and then poof. Like, man, back to the dugout with you.
You almost had it. You almost found it. I realized that now, Mark, after I was already reading through it, that it was from the new edition. So I get that. As the comments come up, I just read them. Sometimes I'm not proofreading. I'm not reading them ahead of time and then going back, sir.
But it's interesting when we're talking about relationships. I had a good run to the ladies' room while we're on break, and Xavier's downstairs playing Fortnite, and there was a disagreement. And I guess there's one young child who was not going along with, and he's like, and this observation 1, blah 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 blah. Observation 2, blah 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 blah. Observation 3. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then I hear apology accepted. I'm like, okay, whatever they did, they cleared up. But I mean, he's very clear and concise about his comment.
He's truly your child.
I was about to say, I would expect nothing less, Coach D.
He's truly your child. So
if you have daughters, I am warning you now. If they cannot communicate, do not come near me. He's not gonna even talk to them.
Truly.
I think the problem a lot of times is we sometimes over communicate to these men, and they get mad at us because they feel we're saying too much.
Some men.
Thank you. Martine says nobody's picking on Mark. Thank you, Martine.
Yeah, it's a gentle banter.
It is. We appreciate and love Mark, and thank him for being such a loyal viewer and supporter of the show. And I think part-time engineer. I don't know what he does there for you, sir, but
everything here he hooks it up. So
okay,
I can't do it, my condition.
Relationships. It's all about our work. Our inner work shows with our outer relationships.
Ooh,
absolutely.
That's good. So you need to be able to post stuff like right here live, like quotes, like.
We'll be able to do it. We'll be able to do it.
They can ask me questions.
We'll be able to do the same thing, but on the platform, on the Taylor Kennedy platform, all that stuff's being set up. So
okay,
all stuff's being coded, so it's going to be there. Definitely there. So it's good stuff. Did either of you guys go to the website?
I did, of course.
I know you did, but I know I guarantee Shannon did. I know she did.
You know what? Why would you say either of you guys? Just be direct and forward. Just say it. Because you already know. Like.
And then she the first one asking for the budget.
You sent me the link, so you knew I knew.
Oh yeah, I didn't even get a link sent to me. So
you did get the link. Knock it off.
No, I didn't, sir.
I didn't send it.
No, you didn't send the link. So there. Thank you for mentioning that. That's my save for today.
Your picture looks cute on the website.
Yeah.
Well, you plastered on that, Shannon. You plastered on that.
I hope it's a good picture, though. Is it a good? Because sometimes these pictures, these little freeze shots you take that you guys that Mark post after the show, like for tonight, like make sure it's a good one. Like sometimes you get me and I'm like don't do that.
That's funny.
Don't do that.
No, it's a good picture. It's a good picture.
Mark says I may have also created a soundtrack for a certain cookie lady. I know I gave you your props. You did a great job, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you.
And actually, when he sent the tracks back, he sent the variety of them. So I have stuff in the library that I could actually change out.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
All right. Well, we're about 5 minutes before the hour, so I think this would be a good time for us to get to the teachable moment, sir. So, what you got for us tonight?
In my teachable moment, actually reflecting back on my personal situation, the tragedy, the loss of my brother, and actually the guy that I'm actually walking through this is for him as well, because he's dealing with something personal. So you have to reflect on yourself, man, and figure out why this is happening to you, why has it happened to you, and why are you in that situation. And 9 times out of 10, when you come up with the answer, the finger's always going to be pointed back to you. So take personal responsibility for the toxic you allow in your space and the toxic you bring to your own party. Personal chisel.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, the one, and it just really happened based off what Coach D said, and it was the inner work that we do on ourselves is what's reflected or shows up in our relationships. And I never really thought about that.
Yep.
That's true.
So that's my teachable moment.
That's very powerful, man, because once the work was done within me, I was a better person to the people around me. Once I was like, I catch myself, oh, I better not say this. Or if I say it, I go back and I apologize later. I wasn't an apologetic person. I never apologized. I never did that. But once I did the work.
That's not hard to believe.
Shut up. Knock it off. So, yeah, but once you do the inner work within yourself, man, you tend to catch your bloopers a little more and you're more authentic with yourself. And this is when you're going to grow organically. Your life is going to be, you're going to live your life in an organic way. Again, personal chisel.
Well, here's, instead of a teaching, a learning moment, I'm going to teaching, I'll leave you with a question. When you're doing your inner work and you're thinking about your relationships, when you're thinking about why you did some things, ask yourself, is that a belief about yourself or is that a fact about yourself?
That's a good question.
It could be a reaction to something versus something that you actually do.
That is okay.
It's real good, real good one. So this is a good one tonight, man. Actually, it's Shannon's idea to give these folks, the viewers, to choose the topics, and hey, the viewer hit it out of the park. And I want that situation that you're in, man, to get better. But it all starts with you. It all starts with you.
So, I love this. Martine shared her teachable moment. She says, my teachable moment is to no longer be afraid of your true self. Speak life into all that you'd like your life to be. And she's no longer afraid to let people go.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
So I'm going to throw this out here for the next show because it came up during this show, and actually Coach D mentioned it. I think it might be something to consider for the next topic, which is generational trauma.
That's a great one.
I think that could be very valuable for us to discuss and share.
We touched on that. You and I touched on that last year sometime, but Coach D hadn't made it to the platform yet. So I think that'd be a great topic to dive into.
Okay.
Generational trauma.
Some people get their feelings hurt. They're gonna get their feelings hurt.
So I'm gonna have to tell y'all now. I'm gonna have to tell y'all before I even do it. The generational trauma one's gonna go straight to subscription. We're not gonna give that away.
All right.
We're not gonna give that away. So it's gonna go straight to it's gonna go straight to the TV. So we'll do it on Sunday, and we'll do it live once. And the only way they'll be able to get to it again, they have to go to TaylorKennedyTV.com.
Okay. I think this is probably going to be a two-part one. So
yeah.
I really feel we're not going to capture it all in an hour. So
I don't think we will.
I think that the second part might be a good segue to what happens in the 0 to 7.
Yes.
It's good stuff.
They go hand in hand.
Hey, Slash, you notice when the platform changes over, they hitting it out of the park? Do you see that, Slash?
Anyway,
whatever.
That's it. Martine says she is ready for it, meaning our topic on Sunday. All right, well, we are right on the hour, so it's a good time for us to go ahead and pause until we meet again on Sunday. So thank you everyone for tuning in with us tonight, and for all the viewers who are on and engaging and chatting with us tonight. Don't forget to come back and see us on Sunday. Where are we gonna be now, Mr. Epic?
Taylor Kennedy TV.
Okay. All right. So we'll see everybody back on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. And I think this is going to be one that Coach D, I think we're going to see Coach D on a whole new level on this one.
It's good stuff, real good stuff. We're excited.
All right. Have a good night. Go ahead and get Xavier into bed, because I know he's got school tomorrow.
Yeah, we got to do his reading, and then we got to go to bed. So,
all right. So have a great night, everyone. Bye.
All right, you guys be epic.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.